और दुख की घड़ी में सरकार सदैव संवेदनशील उनके साथ रहती। मैं स्वयं भी घायलों से मिलकर आया, हमारे मंत्री वहाँ लगे, महापौर लगे। इसलिए राहुल गांधी अब वोटों की राजनीति के चक्कर में लाशों पे राजनीति करने आए, ये उनको शोभा नहीं देता। उनको अतीत के अपने दादा, परदादा, नाना के टाइम, पापा के टाइम की घटनाओं की माफी मांगने से।
Joining us now is CNN News 18's Pallavi Ghosh. Pallavi, very good morning to you and thank you for joining us on the broadcast. Now, this visit is being positioned by the Congress as an expression of solidarity for the victims. Now, what is Rahul Gandhi's stated objective for this visit?
So there are two events which are lined up for him. One, of course, is going to go up to the hospital where many of those victims have been
Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching CNN News 18 Make Sense. I'm Ayushya Singh. Lots lined up for you in this bulletin, but first up the headlines. BMC election results for all the 227 wards declared. BJP emerges victorious on 89 wards as single largest party. Shiv Sena UBT closes in second. Knives out within Congress Mumbai after the BMC results. Congress MLC Bhai Jagtap says Congress Mumbai President Varsha Gaikwad must take responsibility and should resign. Prime Minister Modi to visit West Bengal today will address political rallies amid the ongoing storm over SIR and IPAC raids, set to inaugurate key infrastructure projects. No end to SIR-linked violence in Bengal after tensions flare up over migrant workers' death in Jharkhand. Chief Minister Hemant Soren has assured TMC leader Abhishek Banerjee of a thorough probe into this particular incident. MLAs, MPs from Tamil Nadu to participate in Congress meet today, scheduled for 4 p.m. to discuss strategies ahead of the poll amid Rahul's strong support for actor Vijay. Leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi will be in Indore today, will meet victims hospitalized due to the Indore water contamination tragedy and interact with the affected families in Bhagirathpura. And CNN News 18 accesses the draft copy of Karnataka Honour Killing Draft Bill, law to crack down on crimes committed in the name of honour and tradition. Starting this bulletin with some breaking news right on the top after BMC poll debacle, Raj Thackeray says, and I quote, election was not an easy one. It was a battle of tremendous money power and the power of authority against Shiv Shakti. Whatever went wrong, whatever was left undone, wherever we fell short and what needs to be done, we will all together analyze it and take action. This is the first word coming in from MNS chief Raj Thackeray after BMC poll debacle for them. He in fact is saying, and I quote, election was not an easy one. So he's admitting the setbacks that the party faced. He in fact goes on to say that it was a battle of tremendous money power and the power of authority against Shiv Shakti. Let's now go across to our reporter CNN News 18's Yasha Kotak for more on how the party is responding to this post-poll scenario. Yasha, Raj Thackeray finally seems to have broken his silence.
Absolutely. In fact, while Raj Thackeray has broken his silence, he has got, not only him but Uddhav Thackeray has also come ahead and spoken about the same. He has in fact accepted that the fight for Marathi Asmita is not over. It has in fact just begun. In fact, all of this comes in just as we've seen that both the brothers came together, but there is no clarity as to whether this was only for the BMC election or this would continue further. Now, with the kind of figures coming in the favor of both the brothers, is where we've seen the brothers have accepted, as have said that they will go ahead and fight for the Marathi Asmita. When you speak of Raj Thackeray, of course, this is the first such reaction of Raj Thackeray that comes in. In fact, they've also gone ahead to speak, stating that everyone who was a part of this very election, he goes ahead to congratulate them. In fact, also he's gone ahead to mention that this very election was not easy. There was a lot of money power that was used, a lot of, apart from money power, a lot of other vices that were used. And he's gone on to mention that amidst all of this, people continued their fight In fact, he is congratulating these workers in this, stating that amidst all of this madness is where the workers, the party workers, they continued their fight, and that's why he congratulates all of them, and has also gone further to state that despite all these challenges, MNS managed to get the kind of response that it was expecting. In fact, when we speak of this, he's also similar to the stance of Uddhav Thackeray, stating that this very fight was for Marathi Manus, it was for the Marathi Asmita, and the fight for Marathi Manus and their Asmita continues even after the elections are over. So yes, that word coming in, both the brothers, the Thackeray cousins, have spoken in unison. They've gone ahead to state that though the elections would have been over, they continue to take the mandate of Marathi Bhasha, the Marathi Asmita, along with them. So let's understand this whole context of the statement that Raj Thackeray has made.
For the statement that Raj Thackeray has made, and so is the case with Uddhav Thackeray. Here, a lot of speculations were due as to whether this very marriage of convenience, as we were calling it, between the Thackeray cousins, was it only for this very election, or would it really translate into something else? Now, whether that will happen or not is something, of course, that only time will tell. But so far, the kind of a message that comes in, if you read between the lines, both the brothers have spoken in unison. In fact, when you understand the whole result, what is important to understand is that while BJP gave a substantial win, but the Shinde Sena had was backing with a good support to the BJP. But on the other hand, when you speak of the Shiv Sena of UBT, they of course tried their best. Of course, a figure that they got close to around 60 to 70. Along with Raj Thackeray, they reached the earlier figure, wherein in the last BMC election 2017, Shiv Sena was around 82. But the big fallout here for them was the fact that Congress took in a huge number. The figures of Congress had been MV, it would have worked out in their favor, but the kind of support that Shinde Sena gave to BJP was not the kind of support that the Shiv Sena of UBT got along with Raj Thackeray. So this has been a substantial key takeaway that Raj Thackeray's party could not really deliver on ground. But despite that, both the brothers have spoken in unison, saying that they'll continue to, in fact, fight for the Marathi Asmita. So clearly, would this translate into a long, a long partnership, a long alliance is something that we'll have to wait and understand. Yes.
Right, Yasha. Thank you so much for shedding light on that. And with that, we shift our focus to some more breaking news coming in. Well, the much-awaited Bengaluru suburban railway project remains stuck on the tracks. Sanctioned back in 2020 and meant to be completed by 2023, the 148-kilometer network was designed to connect the city's core suburbs and the airport in under an hour. But delays in land acquisition, encroachments and even repeated design changes have stalled the entire progress. The crisis happened when L&T pulled out of 2 corridors, forcing re-tendering only by mid-2025. Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently flagged the issue in a Pragati review, questioning cost escalations and slow execution. In fact, CNN News 18 reports from ground and spoke to people who are still waiting for a project which was promised to them for decades. Listen in.
The journey from the heart of Bengaluru, that is KSR Railway Station, to Kempegowda International Station could have just taken about an hour or 60 minutes. A 40-kilometer ride without bumper-to-bumper traffic, no crawling through Yelahanka, Hebbal or Yashwantpur, and no anxious race against time to catch a flight. But that relief, as of now, remains only on paper. Delays in the Bengaluru suburban railway project have denied Bengalurians what was meant to be a game-changing daily commute. A project discussed for nearly 4 decades, finally sanctioned in 2020 and originally targeted for completion by 2023, is still far from reality. The project recently came under the spotlight after Prime Minister Narendra Modi reviewed it during a Pragati meeting, pulling up the state over delays, massive cost escalations and asking for a faster progress. The Bengaluru suburban railway project is being implemented by K-Ride, a joint venture between the Karnataka government and the Ministry of Railways. Spread across 148 kilometers and 4 corridors, it was envisioned as a high-capacity alternative to the city's choked roads connecting Bengaluru's core suburbs and the airport. a long-standing pain point for commuters. Sir, if you could tell us in brief about what are the delays that have made this project take so long for completion, and also how is it affecting the people of Bangalore and the commuting process?
Yeah. So we are talking about the Bengaluru Suburban Rail Project, which is being made by K-Ride, which is a joint venture between Government of Karnataka and the Railway Ministry. So there have been many reasons for the delay. One of the first reasons for the delay was when BMRCL asked Government of Karnataka to ask K-Ride not to do the Corridor 1 because they wanted to do their airport corridor first. So that caused a lot of delay, because then the question went to DULT, and DULT also said that no, Corridor 1 has to be done first. Despite that, the view of BMRCL prevailed, and there was a delay. After that, the Prime Minister had to wanted to lay the foundation stone formally. That was done on 20 June 2022. So after that, the work should have started on a fast scale. But unfortunately, there have been other reasons for delays, like Southwestern Railways had to give the land for this project, and most of the land which they gave was already encroached upon, or there were other challenges which had to be sorted out one by one. And now finally the work started about 2 years ago on Corridor 2 and Corridor 4. But then last year we had another challenge, that the contractor who was doing both these corridors withdrew from the project, saying that the entire land has not been given to them. And now a re-tendering process is going on for the corridor work of Corridor 2. But meanwhile, the stations of this corridor, that has been separate tender, that has been, the work is going on right now in my background, as you can see, at Yashwantpura. So the challenges have been many, but one of the biggest challenges as a concerned citizen I will like to put across is that our public representatives, they have not shown as much interest or facilitation that they could have or should have in this project, and that is the reason why things have got slightly more delayed. Maybe if they had taken active interest in these in this kind of a project, we would have seen much more progress earlier than now.
Along with the delays, as mentioned by activist Rajkumar Dugar, the project is a joint venture between the state and the centre. And sources say that ego clashes between the centre and the state as to who should take full control of the project have also slowed down decision making. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had set a 40-month deadline when he laid the foundation stone in 2022. And with that deadline over, the citizens are openly mocking the timeline. For now, Suburban Railway project remains a promise unfulfilled, and as you can see behind me, work is still going on. So Bengaluru's commuters will have to continue inching their way on choked roads, waiting for a train that is yet to arrive.
And for more on this, I'm being joined by CNN News 18's Aman Sharma. Aman, a project which was meant to transform the way the city travels, unfortunately remains stalled years after it was sanctioned.
Well, Ayusha, yes, and that is the reason that the exclusive story that we are breaking, that the Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, has taken up this project for review under the Pragati mechanism. At the last meeting, the 50th Pragati meeting, which was held on 31st December 2025, the Prime Minister has reviewed this project and asked it to be sped up. This is also because it was the Prime Minister who laid the foundation stone of this 148-kilometer long Mumbai suburban rail project in 2022. This was 2 years after the project was finally sanctioned in 2020, after being in discussion for nearly 40 years. And now finally 2022 PM laid the foundation stone of this project in a deadline of 40 months. 2023 was set for this project, but this project is still nowhere near completion, as Afreen was showing us from the ground, that only the corridor number 1 is under progress, corridor number 2 there are issues with the tenders, corridor number 3 is still a far cry, and that is why all these projects are taken up under the Pragati mechanism by the Prime Minister to ensure that they are sped up. If I give you the figures, Ayusha, in fact the project cost has gone up of this particular Mumbai suburban rail by over rupees 1,000 crore. It was initially sanctioned for about rupees 15,767 crore, and the latest cost is about 16,876 crore rupees. A very key corridor, because it will also make the commuters' life easy towards the Bengaluru International Airport, which takes a long while to go by road. But this project is an example of a delay and red tapeism. But now with the Prime Minister picking it up under the Pragati review and reviewing this project threadbare, it is now expected that this project would see some speed in the days and months to come.
Right, Aman. Thank you so much for all of those inputs. And now Pavan Mulukutta, who's the Executive Program Director and Integrated Transport Clean Air and Hydrogen, he speaks to CNN News 18's Harish Upadhyay on how delays in the Bengaluru suburban project can affect mobility within the city. Listen in.
Joining us today, Mr. Pavan Mulukutla, who is the Executive Program Director, Integrated Transport, Clean Air and Hydrogen at WRI India. Thank you, sir. Thank you for speaking to us today. It's a long pending project, something that can perhaps decongest the city, was spoken about long time ago, and sometime in 2023, we had the inauguration taking place, but it hasn't really taken off. How does this delay affect the city and the mobility within the city?
Any delay is going to worsen the congestion in the city, right? And let's not forget that we are not talking about just Bangalore. We are talking about the metropolitan region, because people are coming in and traveling out. And the city that we talk about with the boundary is now much more bigger, right? Because we have all development actually, if you see, is happening in the peripheries. And the infrastructure is not catching up with the development that is happening, with the urbanization that I mean by development. And what we have is something on platter, like literally readily available. And there's been so much trust that even the Honorable Prime Minister had kind of announced and supported this initiative. So every delay is, more congestion in the city, loss of productivity, loss of, benefits to citizens actually, because they're going to spend more time in traffic, and it's more private vehicles getting added. And to me, this is a very big, massive public transport initiative which has to be integrated into the Bangalore's mobility network. Otherwise, we are just losing out the benefit. The more what we are going to see is increased negative externalities that's going to impact all of us actually.
Absolutely. And a special purpose vehicle was created for this. We've seen a lot of back and forth on appointments to that. Do you think there could have been a different mechanism or a different way on how this body gets structured for implementing or executing this project?
No, I think SPV is a very standard model, Harish. And, if you see the RRTS between the Delhi NCR and Meerut, that is also actually an SPV, right? And the SPV which is set up now is actually a JV between Government of Karnataka and the Ministry of Railways. So I don't see that, why there's an issue, and we actually have examples where this has been implemented. But I wanted to draw your attention to what the RRTS did very interestingly, right? They actually brought in an entity called a German train operator, DB, for the Delhi Meerut RRTS. And this kind of then actually, when you strengthen your the SPV model, then it actually brings right expertise and right implementation expertise, Harish, that you're asking about, right? And that becomes actually great. So I would really say that I don't see an issue with the SPV per se, but I feel that there's room and space to strengthen the SPV and really bring the right implementation partners for the SPV.
Now, former Infosys CFO Mohan Das Pai speaks to CNN News 18 on how delays in the Bengaluru suburban project are not only impacting commuters but also questioning the very essence of what railways and the projects mean for India. Listen in.
So finally, there is some focus back on the Bengaluru suburban rail. The Prime Minister has looked into it. He's also taken note of the delay. Such a crucial infrastructure project, sir, but has dragged on for years. What do you think is the reason?
No, the reason is bad management. They did not have a CEO for many years. Karnataka government did not cooperate. They have to acquire land, and land acquisition did not happen. There is no focus from the railways. The railways have let down Bangalore. And, the state government also did not push them and all that. And we are suffering in Bangalore. Our Prime Minister came to Bangalore. He understood the suffering of the people of Bangalore. And he said, this is what I'm promised, I will do it. And we looked up to the Prime Minister. Now, finally, he has stepped in. I hope something happens. I think it's time that Prime Minister, sack some people in the railways for mismanagement and, talk to the government of Karnataka also. And he must push. And our MPs should also push. Tejasvi Surya, PC Bhawan have been pushing. So I think I'm very happy that Prime Minister has finally stepped in. But it's sad that the Prime Minister has to step in. What is the Minister for Railways, Ashwini Vaishnav, doing? It comes under the Railway Ministry. He should also push. I mean, they're all having new trains everywhere, which is very good. What about places like Bangalore? Bangalore is getting ignored by the Indian Railways. Bangalore is a global tech center. It's got the largest number of people working in tech. It exports $120, $130 billion of services. And what have we got from the Indian Railways? Peanuts. It's very disappointing. I hope the Minister for Railways is listening and he has come to Bangalore many times, but we're not seeing progress till now. Now there is a new CEO. I hope it pushes. And I hope the Prime Minister reviews this project in his Gadi Shakti bi-monthly review. Because unless the Prime Minister reviews, things don't seem to move.
And we are slipping into a quick short break. Don't go anywhere. Lots lined up for you right on the other side.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Now we're just getting a breaking news where leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi will be in Madhya Pradesh today as part of his travel program in Indore. He will visit Bombay Hospital to meet victims hospitalized due to Indore water contamination tragedy. Later on, he will also interact with the affected families in Bhagirathpura, expressing solidarity and reviewing the situation on the ground. Let's take a look.
इसके पहले भी आप मंच से बोले थे और राहुल गांधी इस काम के लिए कि मौतें लगातार हुई दूषित पानी से इंदौर।
देखिए, ये राहुल गांधी जाए कर्नाटक, जहां उनकी सरकार है, 20-20 लोग मर गए, उनको हैदराबाद नहीं दिख रहा है। उनके अपने इसी भोपाल के अंदर हजारों लोग उनके कांग्रेस के शासनकाल में गैस त्रासदी में यहाँ मरे गए थे। उनको एंडरसन को भगाने का पाप कांग्रेस के सिर पे है। हम तो अपनी लाडली बहनाओं में लगे हैं और जनता की जन कल्याणकारी योजनाओं के आधार पर आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। भागीरथपुरा घटनाक्रम में भी आज़ादी के बाद पहली बार ऐसा हो कि हमारी सरकार ने आईएएस अधिकारी को सस्पेंड किया। हमने 5 सभी संबंधित लोगों पर कार्रवाई की और दुख की घड़ी में सरकार सदैव संवेदनशील उनके साथ रहती। मैं स्वयं भी घायलों से मिलकर आया, हमारे मंत्री वहाँ लगे, महापौर लगे। इसलिए राहुल गांधी अब वोटों की राजनीति के चक्कर में लाशों पे राजनीति